This is HB Pitchlobe with the Abolition News Network. We are going to talk to a lawyer today who is an insider on New York state politics and the political scene going all the way back to the Emancipation Act of 1799. He's been a man behind the scenes and a lobbyist in New York and knows the details of the compromises that took place in the legislature. Welcome, Mr. Patrick Pettifogger.
Actually, it's Pettifogger Esquire, LLC.
Thank you for correcting me, Mr. Pettifogger Esquire, etc. Tell us, just what went down to pass the Emancipation of Slave Act of 1799?
Mr. Pitchfork, was it?
Pitchlobe.
Oh, whatever. It was called compromise politics between the slaveholders and the abolitionists. It freed no one immediately. No slaveholder lost a single slave in his possession.
So what did it do?
Well, the act abolished slavery for those born on July 4th, 1799 and after, only when they reached the age of 25 for females and 28 for males. It didn't say anything about those born before July 4th, 1799. You see, that way, the slaveholders would get the most work out of them in their productive years.
This is very unclear. Sounds like it's just kicking the problem down the road for a future generation of slave owners to deal with.
Oh, no, it's very clear. And the date pays reverence to the principles of the Declaration of Independence of July 4th, 1776. And it also hopes to pacify those Quakers and other quarrelsome abolitionists who keep reminding everyone that all men are created equal and they are endowed with, etc., etc.
Yes, we can't quibble over the Declaration of Independence, Mr. Pettismog.
It's Pettifogger, and I hate to quibble, but we did do something by throwing the slaves a bone when they did fight on the side of liberty in George Washington's war.
So, is there anything else you quibbled over with your colleagues?
Is this the dining car?
No, madam, that's down the hallway.
You were saying?
So, is there anything else you quibbled over with your colleagues?
One more point. The Quakers will look good because even though they refused to serve in the war on the side of George Washington, they did fight for the liberty of the slaves, since slavery is against their religion, Christianity, and the Bible.
Mr. Pettifogger, you're nothing but a weasel. You said the New York legislature honored the Declaration of Independence by passing a law July 4th, 1799. And you also said that all those that believe that men are created equal are being pacified. So which side are you on? The side of liberty and the pursuit of happiness, or the side of decadence of slavery?
I'm on both sides. You see, New Yorkers are agreed that slaves are property, and slaveholders must be fully compensated before they lose their property.
Well, I think that you should be compensated by doing hard labor in jail for violating the spirit of the Founding Fathers and the Bill of Rights. What do you think of that, Mr. Fog Maker?
It's Pettifogger.
Well, we'll let the future historians figure that one out, Ms. Dimquat. If Mr. Pettifogger is correct about the philosophy of how the state of New York freed the slaves. Thank you, Mr. Pettifogger and Ms. Dimquat, for your input. This is HB Pitchlobe for the Abolition News Network saying good afternoon.
Volumes 1 through 10 on the road to the abolition of slavery. Volumes 1 and 2. Introduction on the road to the abolition of slavery. Slavery explained in the words, writing, and songs of contemporary politicians, abolitionists, slaves, pro-slavery advocates, and others. Volume 3. Politics on the road to the abolition of slavery. The institution of slavery and how it was written into the U.S. Constitution. Volume 4, Heroes and Heroines on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Liberated from the shackles of slavery, countless slaves made extraordinary contributions to society. Volume 5, Obstacles on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Slavery, culturally entrenched and protected by religious, political, and social obstacles. Volume 6, Martyrs on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. People black and white gave their lives in the fight for freedom from slavery. Volume 7, Kidnappers and Justice on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. The law protected slavery, and the scales of justice were in favor of the slave owners. Harriet Beecher Stowe, The Evil of Slavery. Stowe reveals the people and the conditions that inspired her explosive novel about slavery and life in the South. Volume 8, The Legacy of What Slavery Left Behind. War-ravaged people struggle to rebuild their society and come to terms with the repercussion of slavery after the Civil War. Volume 9, Those Dedicated Angels on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Recognizing the work of 12 abolitionists whose extraordinary dedication helped to free the enslaved, these are the people who fought for a higher standard of mankind. Volume 10, coming soon, summer 2013. The Beginning of Slavery. Indentured servants and the transatlantic slave trade. Colonial plantations needed labor, more orphans, loose women, convicts, and Quakers than the Old World could send as indentured servants. So the colonists looked to Africa, and the transatlantic slave trade thrived for 450 years.